thank you for waking up with us. I'm Sunny Sivakumar.
And I am Sammy Hoffman. Sunny, this is our last episode. We are seniors. We're about to graduate. How are you feeling?
I am feeling like it's getting a little too real. I know that we technically still have like a week, but it's still like we're wearing the robe.
Yes.
It's getting very real.
I've been so nostalgic over the past month, just packing in every last Tar Heel tradition, seeing friends, feeling like a real Chapel Hill student. It's been so much fun. So I'm so glad we have very nice weather to get us through these last few weeks as seniors.
Yes, so let's head to our meteorologist, Katie Wilson, to see how the weather's looking for the rest of the week.
Thanks, Sammy and Sunny. Yeah, it's going to be nice and warm today, besides a few scattered showers we might see throughout our Tuesday. Starting at comfortable right now at 66 degrees, then warming up to 78 at 12 and 81 at 3 p.m. Now, let's take a look at those showers that are going to be coming through. Right now, we're under 11.1 marginal risk. Now, this isn't anything to worry about, just something to be aware about. So what this means is that throughout the day, between 2 and 8 p.m. specifically, we're going to see some scattered storms, and with those storms, we might see some localized wind damage and hail. So make sure you're checking your weather apps before you go out today. And so here you can see that rain. Right now it's off to the west and our mountains, and that's what's going to be making its way through today, Tuesday. This is this afternoon shot, some scattered storms moving through our area, and then a few more throughout the evening. And as we look towards Wednesday, same story as today, just some scattered storms, but it should still be very nice and very warm. And we can see that displayed here. We're in the nice upper 70s, low 80s, and in the mild low 60s for the evening. So it'll be a nice week, just some rain here and there, so make sure you pack your umbrella wherever you're going for all your day plans. And today is Earth Day, so happy Earth Day, everybody. While Earth Day should be every day, here are some things you can do specifically today if you'd like. You can find a nice place to work outside when it's not raining. You can pick up some trash, as well as switching to reusable bags and making sure those lights and appliances you're using are off. And if you want any more ideas of how you can get involved with any climate initiatives or what you can do today, visit earthday.org for more details. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Katie, and happy Earth Day. Seniors in the UNC Fashion Mash program just released their spring collections. Joining us now in the studio is senior Mia Taboda, who both walked in the show and designed her own piece.
Thanks, Mia, so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, this is super cool.
So yesterday I hear about a fashion show in Carroll, so I walk over there. Everyone's covering the steps of Carroll. There's a whole runway. It was amazing. So can you tell us a little bit more about Fashion Mash and the two major collections that were shown yesterday?
Yeah, totally. So I got to model with Fashion Mash. So two of my really good friends are in Fashion Mash. Their client was Ralph Lauren, and they came up to me and they were like, can you please model for us? And you'd be wearing some pieces that are sort of Ralph Lauren inspired. And I sort of got to take on that. And it was really cool seeing the behind the scenes of like the runway, the fashion show. It was kind of everything like creative, just sort of all over the place, but at the same time coming together to form these like insane pieces. And I worked in my class, it was called Art Direction and Advertising. We worked with our client, the DC Environmental Film Festival, and we created all these pieces sort of nature themed to go along with the films that are going to be featured in the festival. So my particular group worked on this collage and this collage, which sort of got an understanding about all these nature animals, which include like butterflies, trout, tiger, and how they sort of come together to rely on the Colorado River. And I think that was just super interesting and creative to see our ideas come to life, and obviously seeing it from ideation of creating these pieces and then a display of actually wearing these pieces. So yeah.
It's really amazing. And pulling inspiration from Ralph Lauren, from these environmental films.
Yes.
Can you choose a piece on here that's kind of your favorite, one that stood out, and kind of walk me through what we're looking at?
Yeah. So definitely this one. This one is one of my team members, Olivia Chester. She designed that collage. The collage, again, features all the different animals that were featured in the film. There were so many it was a 2-hour film, so there was about like 9 animals probably. And she sort of created it in the kind of mirroring collage. So you could see the kind of tiger peeking out there. You could see, I think those are the elk, I want to say, and then also the salmon trout that the river features as well. And sort of just putting to understand how fashion can tell a story for these environmental animals and sort of how they rely on the ecosystem, and how honestly us as humans need to rely on the ecosystem to help sustain it, I guess.
Well, it's so fun and incredible what you all are doing. So thank you so much for being here. We're going to post photos from the lookbook on our Instagram at riseandshine_UNC, so be sure to check those out. But thank you for joining us, and back to you, Sunny.
Thanks, Sammy and Mia. This past weekend, our reporter Julia Gilmore participated in one of the most popular Carolina traditions, the Tar Heel 10, and she brings us a closer look at the scenes on race day.
Hi everyone, right now I am in front of the undergraduate library on South Road getting ready to run the Tar Heel 10. As you can see, there are almost 9,000 other runners joining me today, either running the Feet Fleet 4 or the 10 miler. Right now it is 7 a.m., but in just 15 minutes the 4-mile runners will begin, and at 7:45 the 10-mile runners will begin. The excitement here is electric. You can see that the start line is right behind me, and then the finish line is just around the corner at the bell tower. From UNC students to families, friends, and alumni, this year had one of the biggest turnouts and marked the 17th year that the race has taken place.
I feel like it's a senior tradition. I didn't want to leave Chapel Hill without doing it, and so I did all the training and I'm ready to go.
Runners were cheered on by hundreds of supporters and volunteers throughout the race, making it an exciting and memorable experience for everyone. I'm so excited to get out here and run. As you can see, I got my Tar Heel merch on, I got my race bib on, I got my running shoes laced up. So let's go run 10 miles. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Julia. Sammy, did you know there were 7,000 runners that finished both races?
That is incredible. I could not do it.
Me
No, I
neither.
don't think either of us are runners. It was a senior goal that didn't happen, but it's all right. I did hear, though, that the event ended with an award ceremony, and the first place winner was Sam Montclair. She's a local marathon runner who finished the 10-miler in 52 minutes. It's incredible.
It's incredible. I can't run 10 miles in 50 minutes. I can't run 1 mile in 50 minutes. And I know this race was on a lot of seniors' bucket lists like we saw. And speaking of seniors, our reporter, Mackenzie Acton, is live in Chapel Hill, where she talked to a lot of seniors. Mackenzie?
Thanks, Sunny. I'm here on the quad right now where I interviewed a ton of seniors about their favorite moments at Carolina so far. So let's take a look. Okay, what has been your favorite moment at Carolina so far?
I would say when we beat Duke and it was Coach K's last game, there was no greater joy in life than that.
So far, I'd have to say it was freshman year when I got a Duke ticket, and that was the year we got into the Final Four and sent Coach K to an early retirement. So it was a great game, and I remember it really fondly.
I think the freshman year, watching us go to the final and also beat Duke in the Final Four was a really great time.
Being on the quad with my friends and seeing the beautiful campus. That sounds so corny to say, but yeah.
I think like all the iconic moments like rushing Franklin Street, love that. And also like, I don't know, I also love being on the quad. I like when teachers let you have class on the quad. That's probably my favorite moment.
Honestly, I really liked when we beat Duke 2 years ago. I was at Banditos, and so I got to rush Franklin like from right there, and like everyone was swarming in. That felt very North Carolina.
That's really fun. What about you?
I just did bar golf last weekend, I think. And that was really, really epic, really, really fun. Hung out with so many cool friends and then kept running into people. It was just really fun.
That's so awesome. Thank you guys so much. Well, it looks like rushing Franklin was a fan favorite, and I'd have to say that would be mine too. So let's throw it back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Mackenzie. And I have to say, I also agree that the quad sitting is a really popular one, and I love that one too. And joining me now is Kate Chapman, another one of our Rise and Shine reporters. She's here to bring us some study spots for those dreaded finals that we have in between now and graduation.
Yes, I know this time of year can be really tough, but hopefully I can help some people out. I've created a guide of my favorite study spots. So first up, I have the Chapel Hill Public Library. It's just a quick bus ride on the CL line or about a 5-minute drive from campus. And the library offers various cozy seating options, giant windows for natural light, and a dedicated quiet floor for when you really need to lock in. And I love that there are also individual study rooms, and they also have board games if you need a brain break.
I love the Chapel Hill Library, so I would definitely recommend that one. Anything else?
Yes, so if you want to take your study session outdoors, Cafe Dryad is the perfect place to study with a latte in hand. This coffee shop is tucked away in the trees and offers a lot of outdoor seating, which is especially nice with this beautiful weather we have right now. And did you know that a study by the University of Michigan shows that studying outdoors can actually improve memory and focus by as much as 20%?
And that's why you always find me on the quad. It's science.
Yes.
Anything else?
Yeah, and if you'd rather stay on campus, don't overlook Graham Memorial Hall. It's located in the Upper Quad, and with its historic charm, soft lighting, and quiet nooks, it is by far one of UNC's prettiest and most underrated study spots. So whether it's comfy, quiet, or immersed in nature, the right study environment can for sure make all the difference you need to ace your exams.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for coming in, Kate. I'm definitely going to the Chapel Hill Library for finals, so you'll see me there. Now over to Sammy, because after studying for exams comes graduation, and seniors, if you are stressed out and you don't know what to do, Sammy is here to give you all the tips to keep our health in check.
Thanks, Sunny. We have some great tips here from Healthy Heals, collecting habits that can help make a better post-grad life. So first up is getting good sleep. Doctors recommend at least 7, ideally 8 to 9 hours per night for the best mind and body function. I know a lot of us don't follow this, but it is very important. Second is to nourish your body. This can mean things like eating nutritious food, not pushing through injuries or pain, and prioritizing hobbies and activities that bring you joy. Next is staying active. This can be anything like playing a sport you enjoy, hitting the gym, or even just taking a good walk. It's good for your physical and mental health to get moving at least once a day. I know I've been playing a lot of pickleball. And then finally is make time for yourself. Whether it's a night out with your best friends or a movie night in with just yourself, prioritizing things that recharge your battery so you don't get burned out are incredibly important. So those are all the tips from Healthy Heals. Now heading to Kate.
Thanks, Sammy. Now, if you can think all the way back to high school, graduation takes up the whole day. And from dinner to pictures, it is definitely going to be jam-packed. Now, there's no need to stress about how to keep your family entertained all day before the ceremony starts, because I've got a graduation day guide for you. Starting off with lunch, choose a Carolina classic like Sutton's or Time Out. Both restaurants have operated on Franklin Street for decades and are the perfect places to enjoy a delicious meal while soaking in the Carolina atmosphere. Sutton's is famous for its classic diner feel, while Time Out offers Southern comfort food. And you know the photos are going to come at some point. So for pictures, there are the obvious spots like the Old Well and the Bell Tower. But with beautiful weather on the horizon, I'd suggest visiting the Coker Arboretum on North Campus or the North Carolina Botanical Gardens. The flowers are in peak bloom right now, making the perfect backdrop for your graduation photos. And you can't leave graduation day without a little merch. Head over to Franklin Street to stores like Shrunken Head or Johnny T-Shirt to grab your final Carolina gear. You can purchase a t-shirt and bring a Sharpie to graduation to have all your friends sign your shirt, creating a keepsake to look back on. Afterwards, you can grab dinner at a Franklin Street favorite like 411 West or Top of the Hill. Be sure to make your reservations now because spots will fill up quickly. Now, the most important thing to remember is to have fun. You will remember this day forever, so make it count and don't stress. Back to you, Sammy and Sunny.
Thanks, Kate. Now, us graduating also means a new class of seniors coming in. So let's head to Landon Jobe, our executive producer, with a special guest and future senior.
Thanks, Sammy and Sunny. Now, joining me in studio is Rotumi Kokoi, the upcoming senior class president for the class of 2026. Now, today is all about seniors, but I know you are getting ready for next year. So can you tell me a little bit what has inspired the upcoming administration's approach to next year?
Yeah, I just want to emphasize that while I am entitled the senior class president, really my role is as a mouthpiece for the senior class. So we definitely have some priorities, some goals that we want to get accomplished, but at the end of the day, it's fluid, it's dynamic. I'm going to be actively reaching out to my senior class and hearing what they want to do, and we're going to adapt based on that. That being said, some particular things that we're emphasizing are building community and having fun. Senior year is your last year to really leave that impact. It's going to shape your final memory of Carolina, and we don't want anybody leaving with any regrets or a bad experience. So specifically, we're going to have a lot of free events. We're going to have a lot of entertainment, a lot of new, innovative events to bring senior class together in a way that celebrates and recognizes the diverse talents all across the class. But again, it's going to be a collaborative process. Ashley and I are definitely going to want to solicit a lot of student input as we go on throughout the year.
No, yeah, I love that. And clearly, class of 2025. So have you met with any of the leaders from the class of 2025 so far?
I have. So specifically, I've met with Timothy and Imani, the current senior class president and vice president, to get some of their input on things that they like that they did, things that they think could be better next year. I've also met with a lot of members of the senior class. On the bell tower line day, I was out in the courtyard for about an hour just chatting with students. I saw a lot of friends in that line, heard a lot of their great ideas for improving next year, so got some things floated, written down in the notes app. It's a running notes app. I also got some feedback for senior bar golf. I was caddying for one of my good friends. Definitely excited for next year to see how we can take what's been done and it works so well, and just make it a little bit better based on the current senior input.
Definitely got to keep senior bar golf. And so what are some of the main goals that you do have for next year besides, like the bell tower climb and, the basic traditional things that most classes do?
Yeah, so I have a couple of new ideas that I want to bring to Carolina based on things that I've seen at other schools, things I've read. So on the social side, specifically, one thing I'm super excited about is bringing a Battle of the Bands event to Carolina. We have a lot of student talent. I have a couple of friends who are in bands. They're posting on their account that they're at house parties. But what if we had a way to elevate them? I think students would love to see their own classmates performing. So definitely something that's on the run. Another thing that's potentially coming in the spring is what we call the Last Chance Dance. And so, I would love to see people really have a senior spring without any regrets, and part of that is getting your chance to shoot your shot with your crush, for example. So the way that the Last Chance Dance would work is specifically you would fill out a form, you would maybe put down like 3 names of people you have a crush on. If they put your name back, then you find out, and if they don't, you never know, they never know. So it's a super low stakes way to try and get cuffed before you graduate college. So that's on the social side. And financially, one of the really cool responsibilities or privileges that I get as senior class president is to specifically choose the class gift. And so I haven't decided what it's going to be yet. We're going to chat with seniors, we're going to chat with the class marshals, but definitely very excited to find something that really resonates with a lot of our community so that when we are making our initial alumni donations to Carolina, it's something that really means a lot to us in the community.
Thank you so much for joining us. I know the class of 2026 is ready to take over the role of seniors, but thank you for coming into studio and chatting with me. Now back to you, Sammy and Sunny.
Thank you, Landon. And I just want to mention, Landon has been with us for 2 semesters, and he's also a graduating senior, and he's producing our show right now. He's in the back.
Shout out to everything Landon does, and 2 other seniors who have been instrumental in this show. Our original director, Sophia Pedroso, has been a huge help to making this happen, and our social media manager, W.H. Hayes. So shout out to all of these seniors and all that they'll do.
Congrats to all of them. It's just as much their show as it is ours.
Now, you are graduating, Humsini. Let's see if you know some of the top Tar Heel trivia. First, what is the oldest building at UNC?
This is kind of difficult because I'm not going to lie, they all look old. But I'm going to go with Old East because old is in the name.
Okay, that is an educated guess, and it is right. It's right, actually. So sometimes the answer is right in front of you. Okay, our second question up here. Which of these U.S. presidents is a UNC alumni? We have some great alumni.
Okay, like doing the math, Thomas Jefferson was pre-UNC's creation. Woodrow Wilson, kind of late. I'm going to go with James K. Polk.
Let's see. You're correct. That is awesome. So we've got presidents, authors. Okay, our last question coming up here. When did the first Ramses appear? Not RJ, the original Ramses.
I think I remember reading this in the alumni magazine, but I'm forgetting now. So I'm going to guess 27.
1927. Oh,
I am wrong.
So close. 1924. That's about a century. That's crazy. Very exciting. Ramses.
2 out of 3, I still pass.
I grew up with Tar Heel, so I've always been a Ramses fan, but people have been for much, much longer.
Yes.
Now, we're getting to the end of our last show, Sunny. How are you feeling? Any last words in these moments?
I just want to say we've had a great time doing this. Thank you so much for tuning in and following us.
I know, every single morning, and so excited seeing new anchors coming in, new leadership next year. Rise and Shine will continue next semester, but it has been a great past 3 semesters now getting this started.
And make sure you turn into the Carolina Week special tomorrow and Carolina Hora Thursday at 8:45 a.m. Now, we have the band Lily Room with lead singer Chloe Gasworth singing us off.
So we're going to toss to one last musical guest. Happy graduation!
2, 1, 2, 3, 4. see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? Ain't it just like a friend of mine to hit me from